The instant I noticed that cunning smirk on her lips, a chill ran through me. It wasn't the tender smile I'd once held dear, the one that used to brighten my days. This was different, calculated, sharp, as if she was guarding a secret she was, eager to unleash. That night after dinner, she left her phone on the counter, its screen aglow, unprotected by a passcode. My eyes flicked to it, perhaps instinctively, perhaps driven by a nagging suspicion. One message stood out. He didn't even flinch. "Ha, should we push harder tomorrow?" It came from her friend Lena, a name that had been slipping into our conversations. More frequently, though I barely knew her. They were frustrated I hadn't taken the bait. My wife, Elise, and her recently unattached friends had devised a plot of trial. They labeled it a fabricated affair to ignite jealousy, to test if I'd still battle for her, to stir some theatrical version of passion they thought our marriage lacked. They believed love demanded drama, that devotion needed a stage. They didn't understand me. I don't perform on qui observe. I bide my time, and when the moment demands it, I act with intent. Elise and I had been married for 8 years. Our bond a quiet fortress, no extravagant displays, no turmoil, just trust, dependability, and fidelity. Or so I'd thought. I'd stood by her through her lowest moments. When her father passed, I handled everything from the funeral arrangements to the finances. When she lost her job, I supported us for over a year without a word of resentment. When Lena's marriage crumbled after her husband's infidelity, Elise mourned almost as deeply as Lena did. Their friendship tightened, and somehow I faded. Into the background of our own home, Elise began to say I was too composed, too predictable, as if my restraint meant I lacked feeling. But I feel everything, I just don't broadcast it. They mistook my calm for apathy. So they decided to manufacture a tempest. It started subtly. Elise began taking late-night calls, securing her phone afterward. She'd chuckle at texts, then dismiss them with, "Oh, it's just Lena being ridiculous." One night her coat carried the faint trace of a man's aftershave. Another time she claimed a coworker drove her home, but there was no record of a rideshare payment. It wasn't subtle or clever, it was a show. And I was the intended audience. What they didn't expect was my response. I don't react on. Impulsize, strategize. I acquired a burner phone and installed tracking software. Perhaps a gray area legally, but necessary in my eyes. Every message, every erased chat, every voice note was relayed to me. They had a group chat, Elise, Lena, and 2 others, all divorced, all cynical. Dubbing themselves sisters, reclaiming their fire, they called their scheme Operation Spark Him. The aim provoked me to pursue her, to prove my devotion through envy, to make me fear her loss. They craved drama. They got precision. I played my part, keeping my expression neutral. I took Elise to romantic dinners, gifted her bouquets, let her think her ruse was succeeding. Behind the scenes, I met with a divorce lawyer unskilled. In intricate cases and digital proof, our finances were entangled, but I disentangled them methodically. I shifted investments to individual accounts, transferred half our savings to a trust under my sister's name, and cleared our joint credit cards before closing them. I left Elise's personal card untouched, let her face the consequences later. A month into their charade, they raised the stakes. Elise carelessly left her phone unlocked again. This time there were images, grainy, orchestrated photos of her with a man. Perhaps a hired actor, perhaps a friend doing a favor. The caption read, "He bought me champagne and called me radiant." Haven't felt that in years, they wanted me to crack. Instead, I smiled and said, "You are radiant." It's good someone else saw it. Elise hesitated, thrown off balance. That wasn't in their playbook. The next day I filed for divorce. I timed it meticulously, her anniversary. I took her to her favorite seaside bistro, where she glowed, likely believing her plan had triumphed, that I was captivated anew. Over coffee, I slid an envelope across the table. She giggled, teasing, "What's this?" A love letter, I offered with a faint smile. She opened it, and her expression froze as she saw the word divorce in bold. Attached were printouts of their group chat, her agreement to their game, every detail painstakingly recorded. Her hands trembled as she looked up, searching for a hint I was joking. "I didn't mean it," she faltered. "You meant to manipulate me," I replied. calmly. You let them turn our marriage into a spectacle. The show's over. She tried to justify it, insisting it was Lena's idea, that they thought it would revive me, make me fight for her. I looked at her, truly looked. Tan saw the remorse, but also the realization that she'd gambled everything on friends who risked nothing. Lena's idea, I said. Maybe she can share her future with you. Then I walked away. The fallout was quick. Lena texted me a feeble attempt to shame me, claiming I was proving their point by leaving. I sent her a screenshot of the trust transfer and a single line: "You played a foolish game. I made grown-up decisions." Then I blocked her. Lise tried hard, appearing at my door in tears, swearing she loved me, calling it just a joke. But love that depends on deception isn't love, it's a chain. I don't wear one. Hey. She didn't foresee consequences, just as her friends didn't expect to lose their own gambles. They thought volume equaled power, but real power is silent, deliberate, precise. The divorce was finalized in 5 months. I kept the house. She got a small apartment and a harsh lesson. Our true friends, those who valued honesty, stood by. Me, after seeing the evidence, the calculated betrayal of it all. The ones who didn't, I released along with her. Do I miss her? No, I miss the woman I thought she was. But that woman disappeared the moment she let others rewrite our life. This isn't revenge driven by malice. It's closure driven by clarity. Let them call me cold. Let them say I went too far. I'd rather walk alone in tranquility than share my life with someone who conspires with friends who mock trust. I didn't shout. I didn't cause a scene. I simply drew the curtain.